Welcome to the LynnCAM TV Show, a program which focuses on local organizations, municipalities, nonprofits, and issues affecting the city of Lynn. Here with me today to discuss the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, we have Bob Tucker, president of Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, and then we have Ray Fosher, the Coastal District Manager of the DCR. Guys, I just want to say thanks for being here today. Your responsibilities are mainly for the beach here in Lynn. That's what we're here to talk about, at least. But before we get too much into the beach, let's talk a little bit about yourselves and how you're involved. Bob, we'll start with you.
Great. Well, let's start off. Without disclosing my age, I've been involved for a number of decades in the City of Lynn, born and raised in the City of Lynn. Was part of Lynn City government in my earlier years, and have been involved in many organizations in the city after I left politics, and employed at the Lynn Water Sewer Commission. And Lynn is my home. This is where I've been. This is where I plan to remain. I'm invested in the community, and I like to give back to a community that's given me so much. So that's my story in a nutshell, and that's how I got involved with the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach and other organizations in the city of Lynn.
Heck yeah, it's always fun to meet guys like you, because you've been involved in the city for a long time, and it's not like you've just been living here. Like, you've been actively involved and working to make the community a better place and what you think it can become. We talked about the term Lynn guy before the program, and a lot of people, that's like their default. Oh, I'm a Lynn guy, but you're a real Lynn guy, and you agreed with me there.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that. It's a good compliment, but this is it. You either stay on the sidelines and complain, correct, or get involved and try to do something about it.
That's
and when you get involved, you're going to make friends. You're going to not make friends because you have to take positions. You have to take stands, but you're not going to accomplish anything if you just want to stand by and complain. Get involved and try to change things to make the city better for what it is. I can complain about years ago the odor down on Lynn Beach, okay, and do nothing about it but complain.
Right.
But you want to get involved, change it.
Hit the nail on the head there.
Step up to the plate and do something about it.
Yeah, do something about it. I like that. Now, Ray, you're not a Lynn guy.
No.
But you're a DCR guy. Let's talk about who you are and how you're involved with Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach.
Well, I've been with the agency for the DCR, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, for about 38 years now. I've been managing properties for the agency, again, for 38 years or so. My district runs from East Boston, Constitution Beach, all the way up to Salisbury. Lynn sits in the middle of that. My involvement with the Friends group, of course, is, we interact. We work together on different projects. We partner on so many different things. And so my role is to try to contend with Bob, which is sometimes a challenge, usually fun though. But so that's what the agency does. And obviously we're managing, Lynn Shore Drive. We manage Kings Beach, Nahant Beach, the Causeway, the Lynn Way, Carroll Way, all that stuff is all part of the DCR and the roadways and whatnot.
Great. Now, for those at home who aren't fully aware of why the DCR exists, can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Well, if you want to go back in history, there were two agencies that were involved with management, the MDC, and back in the day was DEM, the Department of Environmental Management. So most folks around here know the Metropolitan District Commission. A few years ago we merged together, but both of these agencies are right now well over 100 years old. We've been managing properties, whether it's buildings and grounds and beaches and forests and roadways for a long, long time. And so our involvement, our interests are folks like yourselves who like to go out and kind of recreate. So the business of recreation is what we focus on, and roadways fall into that as well on occasion, parkways and stuff, but that's our role, that's our job, so that you can come out and enjoy yourself at our many beaches or forests or things of that nature.
Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about the beach, and then we can talk, we can get more into the organization itself and its function. But Lynn Beach is a great venue. Seems like everybody's down there during the summertime, spring even, and even sometimes in the fall. You've got Red Rock Park, which is a great venue for concerts, and you guys took action on that without a doubt. You have events down there. It's quite the place. Lynn is a special area, and I think the beach is just one of many reasons that make it so.
I would agree, especially in Lynn. How many other communities have the asset that we have?
Right.
You take a look at your beach, which is a tremendous asset. We talked a little bit earlier about Lynn Woods, another tremendous asset for the city of Lynn, and number of folks that come down that can't afford maybe to go places, okay, that come down to Lynn Beach, Kings Beach during the summertime to enjoy the beaching, and also where the friends get involved, putting on free events for the people in Lynn that come down on a summer night to enjoy the waterfront and to enjoy the programs. Lynn is a working class city. There are not too many millionaires living in Lynn, so folks in Lynn normally don't have second homes. They can't go, maybe to the Cape and so forth. These people come down and enjoy the beach, and to enjoy the beach, you want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure the services are provided, and you want to be able to, if you can, provide some programs for these folks, and that's what we do.
This is pretty much it in a nutshell right there. Now, Ray, let's talk a little bit about your take. Like we had said before, you're not from Lynn, but you're involved with Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach. What's your take on the location, or the area just itself?
It's beautiful. I mean, when I first was assigned this location, and I took my wife up, and we obviously drove, starting from East Boston, and drove up through Lynn and Nahant. I had already been managing the Salisbury Beach and Rockport areas and the Maudsley, so she was already familiar with those. But we were both pleasantly surprised at how lovely the area is. In particular, Lynn Shore Drive. When you hit this little stretch along Lynn Shore Drive and you've got that incredible view of the ocean, it's pretty spectacular. And of course, during those wonderful storms, you really get a sense of the power of the ocean when you're watching people kind of floating down the street and stuff like that. So it's kind of a fascinating place. It really is.
Just from living, I lived with my uncle on Lynn Shore Drive, and I don't like to really talk about me too much, but I think it's important to mention the waves. You could feel those waves in your home, and it's not like just once in a while. Like it's there every day, and it definitely gives you a certain sense of appreciation for nature, not only just Lynn itself.
One other a little tidbit
Sure.
I'd like to share as well is one of the spots that I really enjoy when I'm coming down to oversee and take a look at things on Nahant Beach. If you're standing at the halfway house, and there's a kind of an alleyway or a portal, we'll say, that goes from the parking lot to the beach.
Yep.
If you stand in the center of that, on one side you see the open ocean or you see the bay. And on the other side, you're looking again across the bay, but you have this incredible view of the city of Boston. It's one of the prettiest views of the city that you're going to get for the skyline, the horizon. It's another one of those places that really kind of spectacular out here.
It is. For those Lynners at home who don't know, Lynn offers some great venues to see a skyline of Boston. Gannon Golf Course, High Rock Tower. You also have Stone Tower, the Woods Reservation, Lynn Beach. So I haven't been in many other communities that are south of Boston that offer that. And I'm not sure if it has to do with the infrastructure that's placed there or the highways, but we're pretty lucky to have it. And
really
it's clear on some days. Like yesterday, we were at Gannon shooting, and it was like you could see Boston clearly, everything, every single detail, other than
Very
people
nice.
in cars. If that was the case, I would want to express my abilities in a different form. However, let's get into so let's talk about the organization itself. For those of us at home who don't know about Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, its function, Bob, tell us a little bit about that.
The organization was formed in 1990
Okay.
by a couple of volunteers because at that time it was, as Ray mentioned earlier, it was the old Metropolitan District Commission that used to manage the beaches. And at that time they were understaffed, they were underfunded, and there was just basically minimal maintenance for Lynn and Nahant Beach. And they were in disarray, they were in it was a mess. So you had volunteers in that area formed this group in 1980, and it grew. And it's been in existence since then. It's went through some changes in leadership, and today we have over 225 members. And from that, it has grown into, I think, as the commissioners would tell us, it's one of the largest friend organizations in the Commonwealth, one of the most active friend organizations in the Commonwealth under the umbrella of the DCR.
That's a fun fact to know.
So it's a fun fact to know, and the important thing is that I remember when I started attending Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach meetings, there was always a confrontational atmosphere between the Friends and the MDC, because they didn't have the money, they didn't have the staff, the beach was a mess, but then we were fortunate enough that in our state delegation at that time, the late Thomas McGee was elected Speaker of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, and the late Walter Boverini was the Majority Leader in the Senate. And so with their considerable political clout, monies were allocated to do a complete renovation of Lynn Shore Drive and Lynn Beach. A lot of it was advocated a lot by the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, but the clout to deliver the bacon.
Yep.
Lynn had that clout at that time, and so it was. In that you got the railings, you got the new sidewalks, you got the irrigation system, you got the new benches, you got the new trash receptacles, you got the new grass down there. And then in comes, the transformation from the MDC over to the DCR, and again our state delegation. And that by that time, our state delegation was, Tom McGee.
Yep.
Now the senator, his father was the speaker. We have Representative Laurie Urich. It used to be Steve Walsh, used to be the representative for Nahant in West Lynn, and State Representative Bob Fennell. And through them and their cooperation with us and others, they were able to step up to the plate, and in comes the election of Governor Deval Patrick, and there was a major emphasis on the parks and recreations. And a significant amount of money was dedicated to that. And so, and that enabled the DCR to have the staff that is needed not only to manage Lynn and Nahant Beach, but the other beaches under their jurisdiction, and the equipment. So
Yeah.
It's made a tremendous difference.
I'm an '85 kid, so I wasn't around for the beginning of Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, but I always kind of wish, just as a Lynner, like I was born like maybe 10 years earlier, because there was a significant amount of transition happening in Lynn. Oh, yeah. And I really think it's attributed to citizens like yourself. I don't think that the state would have issued any money if nobody was saying anything. I don't think that they would have really cared as much if you didn't express that you cared. So kudos to you and thanks, because now it's something that I get to enjoy on a day-to-day basis, especially here in the summertime. So keep it up, man.
Right. No. It's also we the organization has grown, and I mean I'm not the only one there. We have members that step up to the plate that do an awful lot.
Yeah.
Okay. That man the programs that we have that do the beach cleanups, and it's really a group effort. It really is. Like in any organization, you have folks that just want to join, but then you have other folks that really roll up the sleeves and get to work, and so it's a tremendous effort, by the members of the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach.
I'd love to be able to piggyback off of what Bob is talking about. Back in 2007 when they had the Beaches Commission, in 2006 when they established that,
Okay.
and it was in 2007 that they really made that investment, and it changed the dynamics dramatically. Again, as Bob said, it improved the equipment, it added staff, and if there's a couple of things that come into play here. Friends groups, such as Lynn Nahant Friends Group, what they can do are things that we can't do. I don't go to my local legislator and say, I want this, I want that. He can. And it's not just Bob. It's a group. It's a sanctioned, legitimate, hardworking, well-known group of people. And so they're going to local legislators and saying, look, this is something that really needs it needs improving. it's something that's going to influence the neighborhood, the community. It's going to improve things. We think it's important. When the legislators hear something that the community feels is important, then it's something they can hang their hat on and they can push for. And so this is where the Commonwealth, the DCR in particular, and Friends groups, this is where we partner the best.
Yeah.
Then there's the other things, of course, that they do. But for us, for this facility over here at Lynn and Nahant, the best thing that ever happened to it was, again, this group getting the money, getting the resources, and the staff. The staffing that we have over here, the folks that work over here are fabulous. It's a great team of guys and women, and they work hard, they're dedicated, they're committed. They might not live in the area, but yet they're committed and dedicated to the facility and to the people who come here. So this is why partnerships are critical to the agency and why we support them, why we encourage people to get involved. And if you're going to get involved, one of the things as a facility supervisor, somebody would come to me and say, geez, I'd like to be able to do something for the park. And you go, okay, well, what would you like to do? I want to do some trail work, we'll say. So you got one person, and you go, that's really not going to happen. What are you going to? So if you can tie that into or connect them to an organization that has already established themselves in a facility, then it becomes not one, but 100 potentially. And so that's why we love to get these groups, because again, and the groups buy into our management philosophies. We buy into their desires and intentions, so we get this symbiotic relationship going and good things happen.
Yeah, we had talked about that at the beginning of the show, the value that this organization brings to the DCR. I mean, it's obvious the value that they bring to the people of Lynn and the place that we're talking about, whether it be Lynn Woods or the beach and Nahant Beach. But the fact that they're actually helping the state out, I think it's good news that they took notice of Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have them now. And it seems like they're helping you out too on your day-to-day.
Absolutely. Again, this is one of the funny things about, my staff comes in early. My staff will be in at 5 o'clock in the morning. They don't see the lights when they go out. Who does?
Right.
Bob Tucker. Or other folks who live on the, so I'm getting phone calls, or emails or whatnot from Bob or other folks in the community. They're really their eyes and ears for us. If there's issues over at Red Rock, we get calls, we get emails, we get notified, so that we can, because we can't be there all the time. Where the community is, you're here all the time, so you become part of our management system. You're our management team, and so that's what Bob and the Friends Group do for us. Big help.
Community is a big part of what America was, and I think what America can be. A lot of people try to address issues on the top tier, the worldwide issue. Mm-hmm. It's almost impossible to do. Like you said, you got one guy who comes in and he says, oh, I want to help develop a trail. Okay, how many people do you have? Just one? It's going to be difficult. That's not a task that you can handle alone. But if you focus on the small things like a community, well, then you've got more positive communities and more impact communities popping up around America, and then you have a country developed of thousands of sound communities, and I think that's essentially what we're talking about here. Now, Bob, you're involved over at the Water and Sewer too. You've been I'd say you've been a Lynn advocator for pretty much your whole entire life. That's safe to say, right?
Sure is.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the history of the organization. You guys have been around since the 80s. Do you have any plans for the future? I mean, what else are you going to bring to Lynn? What else are we going to get from you, Bob?
Me, I'm just an active citizen.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's important to mention. So a lot of people at home who watch public access are wondering, how can I make my impact in Lynn? I mean, what advice would you give them?
My advice would be if you see something in your neighborhood that you don't like, or if you see something in your neighborhood you think there could be improvement on, get involved, contact your elected officials, and suggest making the improvements, or suggest maybe having a meeting with them. If you want to include other people, include other folks, and begin that way. Just don't complain and say, geez, my street's never going to be clean, or that damn sidewalk is never going to be fixed. Well, I was a city councilor, okay? When people call, public officials respond. And that's one way that that folks can get involved. Or if you walk down the beach and you're walking by and you see there's a McDonald's bag there. Someone didn't throw it in one of the 50 trash receptacles that we have down there. They decided just to leave it on the sidewalk.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. You know?
That's how you can do
Pick it up.
It's very simple.
See someone walking down there with their dog without a leash, say something to them.
Hey,
You
put a
know,
leash on your
get
dog.
involved, and that's what we do. And I mean, folks in our organization are involved in the community, and a number of people in our organization the last few years have just come to Lynn over the last few years.
Yeah,
So-
there's been a huge interest in Lynn recently.
Yeah.
Not
So-
by Lynn guys
No,
either.
by newer folks, and I'm telling you,
people.
they're coming, and I mean, you can see what's happening in downtown Lynn with Arts After Hours with Corey Jackson and that whole organization. You can see, what's happening downtown with, with Lynn Arts, or the folks that moved into the downtown lofts. I don't think majority of them are lifelong Lynners. They're new folks that got priced out of other places, and they're coming in. And the city and the people who live here and the elected officials should listen to them because they're bringing a different perspective on what can be done.
I think that is probably one of the more interesting things. Definitely, what you just mentioned right there really is it in a nutshell, And I think the reason that these people are getting involved is because they see potential. And I think that's probably why you got involved in the 80s, too. You saw potential down there. Hey, this place can be way better, not even just halfway better. So continuous improvements are always something that Lynn is focused on. So you got about 5 minutes left in the show. I want to talk to you about some of the things that we can expect to see at Lynn Beach or at Nahant Beach in the upcoming year, maybe for those at home who don't know as well.
Okay, well, in the winter months it's tough for us. Obviously, we don't do a
Right.
lot down there. Our time is the spring and the summer. We do 2 or 3 beach cleanups a year. We could always use people's help with that.
Sure.
Our summer concert series have been ongoing now for the last 15 years. In the months of July and August, they're every Thursday night, 6 to 8 down there. We have bands. They're free programs open to the public. We have a annual kids concert, which is usually the last Saturday in July. We also partnership with other organizations in the city of Lynn for other events during the year. The mayor has invited us to co-sponsor the movie night, which is at the August 22nd this year at Red Rock Park. And how do you pay for these? This money comes out of the Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach. The bands, the DCR contributes with the stage, the sound, the setup equipment, and so forth like that. Yeah, definitely. The Porta-Johns, the total sounds a big thing, believe it or not.
It's
And it's like paying for the advertisement and so forth. So we go out and we solicit grants, and we get we have a number of sponsors, but that local sponsors that give us grant money
Sure.
to keep these programs going, free programs on the beach.
It's definitely safe to say that Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach are just full of smart people and involved people. Bob, I know you're not much for telling us about how great you are. Others may say
There's other people. That organization is not
but
me.
you are, man. You're a smart guy.
Yeah, but the organization is the organization can't revolve around one person.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the members in that organization. The people that put on that kids concert for us every year. 2 or 3 members of that organization. Everyone does their part, and maybe I'm just an orchestra leader.
So we got about 3 minutes left in the program. Let's talk about how people get involved. In case there's anybody sitting at home and wondering how I can make my part, how can I make my difference, how can I make my impact, how can they get involved with your organization?
Very simple. You go to our website, www.lynn-nahantbeach.org. All our information is on there, all our history, all the programs we offer, how to become a member, where we meet, and how often we meet. That's how folks get involved. And that's easy. We have a website, we have a newsletter, and
It's easy. You guys have everything in place, and it's going to be awesome to see what you can do in the next, 6, 7, 10, 20, 50 years, however long they decide that I get to stay here. Guys, I just want to say thanks again. We have Bob Tucker, friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach, and Ray Faucher, Coastal District Manager of the Department of Conservation and Recreation. Guys, again, thank you for coming on to the program. That's it for the LynnCAM TV show. From the studio here at LynnCAM TV, I'm Sean Donahue, your host, wishing you all the best.